Okay,
All right, everybody. So we
it's
are still
list watch,
we are
baby.
past our best of year lists for albums and everything that we watched and enjoyed and experienced this year. So we thought we would look at a different list. Jake has read this. I have not. So you're gonna
I
get
actually haven't
my
read all of it. I've read the first couple of entries.
okay. So you're gonna get pretty much both of our live reactions to reading Rolling Stone's 25 best hip hop albums of 2025. I'm already seeing. I mean, who's on the cover image? We got Clips. Is that Lil Sims on the left that they
I think
zoomed
that's
in
Lil
on?
Sims, and who is the May entry there? I wish it cited it correctly, but
It's okay. I can't tell who
regardless,
that is.
why we react to lists like this and why content creators do is that it's a good way to get a litmus test for what the industry just to see where everything is in the critical sphere, to just see where everything is and to point out how ridiculous and stupid it is to some extent. But it's fun, basically, is what I'm saying, is that whenever one of these lists comes out and we don't get the chance to clown on it, a little part of me dies. So frankly, anytime we can clown on one of these, I want to take the opportunity to. I don't really feel the need to read the preliminary here. With number 25, we got Open Mike Eagle, Neighborhood Gods
Okay.
Unlimited. I'm very sad that I didn't necessarily get to cover this. I didn't mention it in my favorite albums of the year list just because it didn't quite make the list. We had many good albums this year, but I love Open Mike Eagle. As we said in our favorite MCs video, Open Mike Eagle is my third favorite MC who has made hip-hop music. And he's never fallen off. He's never made anything less than a great record, and Neighborhood Gods Unlimited is a great record. I think it has a place on this list. 25, maybe a little low. Maybe a little low. Go watch Open Mike Eagle, by the way. He makes really great content and does really good streams and does a lot of like thoughtful hip-hop community commentary stuff. So I really suggest not only listening to this album, go and listen to him. He is a cool dude.
Yes.
One of those guys in hip-hop who I like listening to because he is just a guy, like just a normal dude who's like a dad and lives like a normal person and talks like a normal person and not like a fucking porn brain streamer. Not that I'm adding anyone in particular.
God. All right. What's next?
24,
Cardi B.
Am I the Drama?
Nice.
I'm gonna admit, I did not listen to all of this album. I listened to the singles and I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not like
I can see
like Cardi
why
B
somebody from
in-
Rolling Stone would put this on the list. You know,
Absolutely.
I can see why it's here.
Though I will say it does seem like this album was released, I feel like with a bit of there seemed to be an air of disappointment around this. And I don't know if I'm just like not correctly observing that, but I felt like I saw a lot of people be like, yeah, I didn't really know what to make of that. I thought Cardi B's first album was solid, good fun. I didn't really get the phenomenon that it was at the time, but I was a little less plugged into the hip-hop sphere as a whole when that dropped, so I can't reliably really gauge my even own perspective relative to everyone else's. But I like Cardi and what she brings to the table hip-hop wise, like just in spirit and in character. I like the energy that Cardi B moves with. So regardless of whether or not her album is disappointing or not, I feel like her being on a list like this is okay. You know, like she's cool. I like her, and I hope that she is successful and is still able to be as weird as she was before, because that was kind of the cool thing about her, was that she just didn't really seem like, it seemed like her pop success was almost in spite of itself, and that's why it felt cool at the time.
Yeah.
So interesting. Ooh,
Black Hole Super
Aesop Rock, Black Hole Superette. Okay,
I'm with it. This is good.
In Rolling Stone, I wouldn't have predicted an album on this scale. I mean, I know Aesop's not
Aesop Rock.
Aesop's not small.
full-
He's a legend at this point, but it just doesn't feel like even the fact that they're shouting out Billy Woods on this. Maybe Billy Woods is on here. That would be very cool. That would be very cool.
I could definitely have seen like Integrated Tech Solutions making a
Oh yeah.
the list of its respective year. I don't know if it did or not, but them picking Black Hole Superette in a year of not one but two Aesop Rock albums is a really interesting choice.
It feels like Black Hole Superette's one of those records where it's like, it's not my favorite Aesop project or anything, but it does feel like a great default Aesop. Like if you need to recommend Aesop to somebody, Black Hole Superette is a really solid recommendation to throw at. So yeah, this is actually like really like so far.
I like this pick a lot. Yeah, so far this has been pretty good.
Okay, Mobb Deep Infinite. We talked about this, and I think this deserves to be here. For sure.
I mean, I agree with the opening sentiment. Represents the best case scenario for a posthumous album. We talked 100%. About that when we reviewed this. I see the vision. Absolutely. I love that Mobb Deep record.
Giving it up to Legends, an example of a good posthumous record. Very, very solid inclusion. Very good inclusion. Central C.
I didn't listen to this. I don't have any opinion on Central C. So maybe it's good, maybe it isn't. I know he has that silly.
He's new, yeah. Like he's relatively newer.
Yeah, he had like a meme hit that he did with Lil Baby. The we can go bond for bond or whatever.
I know the kids like Central C. That's the only thing I really know here. This feels like a Rolling Stone pick of just like, yeah, hot new rapper. The youth like him. An okay pick. Okay. Great. All right. Can I just say this?
I didn't listen to any of this.
Bait is bait. This is literally only here because Drake's name is on it. And that's it. That's it. Look, I know how this works. I know how these lists are constructed. This was put here for name recognition. This was put here for clicks. This was to get people angry and arguing over the fact that, how could you put Drake on here after he got his ass beat by Kendrick so bad? It's literally supposed to provoke you into not thinking it should be on here. It's bait.
Insert Tom Hardy here.
We in Miami turning up another night. We took the trophy, let the shorty take the eye.
Like, to me, this is kind of like when this album dropped and I heard not a soul talk about it, I was like, oh, maybe this damage is gonna last. Because, I mean, it's January 2026, and Drake is still in trouble. Like, those gambling charges are not exactly something to sneeze at, and, you know,
Drake
we didn't even mention
views.
Iceman. Iceman's probably gonna come out this year. So
there are parts of the lawsuit that allege that Drake buys views. It's been fake from the start, dude.
And it's like, you're telling me this is the exception? We didn't bot any streams here? Come on. So, gotta have the corporate pick. Slick Rick,
okay. Another one of those Legend Has It records. Just one we didn't get to.
Slick Rick's a hip-hop legend. Dude,
yes.
Like, very, very well-respected old head, like one of the actual, like, pioneers of, like, original hip-hop. And I heard some good things about this album, some interesting stuff. So giving it up to an OG, all right. I think that's more than acceptable on here. Osama-san. Okay, this is another newer guy. This is another, like, I know that the kids like some Osama-san. I like the album cover. Very, like,
I was gonna say, I have no idea what this
Southern
is.
hip-hop looking kind of shit.
Cool.
21-year-old rapper from Goose Creek, South Carolina. Interesting.
I'm gonna have to check this out. This
okay,
cool.
I'll check this out. This seems interesting. Okay. Saba, interesting. I missed this, but I feel bad because people are really into Saba, and I've only heard bits and pieces.
People are down with Saba.
I'm okay with, like, that seems like a good pick. I know that people really, really like that, like, the album of Saba's before this, people were, like, really into. Oh, and No ID. Okay, yeah, No ID being on the beats. Yeah.
This album was interesting. This was interesting.
I didn't hear this. Talk about this.
I will say that. It's weird. It's raunchy, but it's also like she's addressing some of the backlash a little bit.
Right.
Of like, getting more or less canceled for all that expose stuff that came out about her. And this is worth talking about. I don't know if I would put it this high on this.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like even if you like this album, saying it's better than stuff like Infinite,
Mobb Deep,
like, like that feels a little sus. Like, this feels like a very provocative placement, you know? Like, did people really like this album? Did it even have, like, hits?
I didn't hear anybody talk about it except for Professor Sky, but that's the reason that I listened to it, is that he had such an interesting take on it.
Okay, Alfredo 2, Freddie Gibbs.
Sure.
I'll be the first to admit, this podcast was deeply not generous to Alfredo 1. And I'm not going to lie to you all either. Everyone's lack of enthusiasm absolutely pushed me away from being as positive on Alfredo 1 as I probably was. Like, I probably dropped that album a point because I didn't want to appear overly generous. Like, that's on me. That being said, I still don't think Alfredo is an amazing album. Like, it's solid. It's got some good features. I like Freddie Gibbs. It's good. I actually think Alfredo 2 is a better record. It's a more interesting record. There are more interesting beats going on here, and I like the features more. It's just kind of a categorical improvement, if you ask me. But it's also firmly, very, very good 7 out of 10 release of record. And, it's from people who, the establishment loves, but fans also loves. 15, that feels right. I can't fault this placement at all. Monoleo. I don't know too much about this.
I'll say I haven't listened to this, but I mean, Monoleo being this high on a list like this, that's good stuff. I like her. I don't
know much about her, if I'm being honest. I've only seen her feature on some stuff, I think.
I was gonna say, I discovered her. She was on a Flo Milli song, and she was wonderful.
That's probably... oh, man, I miss Flo Milli. Where the fuck is... where are Flo Milli and Rico Nasty? I fucking miss them. I need albums from them already. Giving it back to the ladies. Jid, God Does Like Ugly, the third album cover for this album that I've seen.
I was say, the Prelux, they used the Prelux cover album that doesn't have the whole thing on it.
Granted,
anyway.
limited pool here, and this is not the most egregious thing in the world, but too low?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see what comes after, and then I'll probably come back to this, but yeah, I mean, my instinct is that this is too low.
This is, to me, this is easy top 10. And again, it's a stacked year, don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
easy top 10 for me.
Clipping!
Wow, clipping, 12. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, 100%. I'm a little sad that I didn't get to shout them out a little bit more at the end of the year, because we did cover them very favorably when we did the discography breakdown, but this one did feel like it got lost in the shuffle because of how early it came out and how quickly so many albums came out.
It came out very early in the year. Frankly, it is my least favorite clipping project in a bit. But
it actually, I kind of agree with you, but that's things that clipping are so good that this is still great.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I would still tell you, yeah, this album is great. Go listen to it. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah, I think 12, though, is awesome. Chance the Rapper at 11. We didn't talk about this, but Starline is fine. And honestly, I think that is kind of a victory in and of itself, because... yeah.
Surprisingly good in some ways, disappointing in other ways for me.
In my opinion, though, I kind of feel like Chance would have situated himself in a worse place if he had made a better album. Because it feels like if he makes something so dramatically better than The Big Day, it almost feels like that sucks out more momentum of people just being like, well then what? Well then... why was this like this, Chance? This feels a little bit more throw everything at the wall. It's a very messy record. I don't even know if I'd really strictly call it good to great, but bouncing back from definitely one of the most disappointing and notoriously bad hip-hop projects of the 2010s, I mean, this may as well be a fucking masterpiece. And there are good songs. He is still capable of making good songs.
All of this has gotten me, I'm firmly back in as being a believer that Chance the Rapper can make, great stuff.
Oh, I believe he can too. Prove me right, Chance. I want to have faith in you. 10. Don't tap the glass, Tyler the Creator. Good. Okay.
Perfect placement.
I certainly think
I would even argue.
Most of the albums I like on the first half of this list, I think deserve to be above this, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I get it. This is the most pop album Tyler has made, and for that it is novel, for that it is good. I love the songs, and I love kind of how he leans into this being a slimmer release, as we talked about when we reviewed it. But top 10, it just feels like there's some albums that maybe do what this does a little bit better, or are just a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more substantive. Not to say that everything needs to be, but
definitely records that I would fight for to be above it in the list, but I see why it is this high and that it is
For
above
sure.
those other albums. I see why the list is this way in this regard.
Definitive album of the summer for me, for
Yeah.
sure. Shay, Rest in Bass. Huh. I don't know anything about this, if I'm honest. Oh, it's Rage Trap. That's okay. That's
Rage Trap,
19-year-old
young guy.
Atlanta rapper. Okay, so this is in the same lineage as stuff like Playboy Cardi, as stuff like who's that guy who's Playboy Cardi but not?
I don't know.
Fuck. But, you know, I'll give it a shot just because ever since I discovered that I was really sort of like, I want to try and give myself over to stuff like Playboy Cardi and kind of, you know, accept the mystery and just let myself enjoy some Head Empty music. But then I was just like, oh, it's just that I don't think he's very good at doing this and not that I don't like this. Like, I like when other people do it. It's not him. So I'll give this a shot, but like, you know, hey, it's a 19-year-old rapper. We're not getting many people on the younger side, you know, being lifted up like this. So there are much worse things to do than put an album like this in the top 10. That's fine. New movement, new exciting thing. Lil Sims. 8.
Little Sims.
Perfect.
There we go.
Perfect placement. No complaint whatsoever. Deserves to be here. Thoroughly fantastic album.
Very glad it's here. Good stuff.
Shit, I have not gotten to this yet, and I don't know why. I've been hearing good things about Dave's music for a while now, and I just haven't gotten to it, but I've heard plenty of good things about the boy who played the harp. It's like apparently kind of like a mixture of like, there's like some gospel elements in this, and like even some like reggaeton Afrobeat sort of stuff. Like apparently it's real interesting. I'll totally give this a shot.
I have to check this out then.
Yeah, I definitely want to. Mike, Showbiz. Oh, this album's good.
Ooh.
I like this pick, especially
this
this
was
high.
also a very early release in the year, but I liked this album a lot. I'm not a huge Mike fan, but again, this was just like an early year release that people were talking about, so I checked it out. I actually ended up liking it a whole lot. So
his
I'm
recent crop of albums is really like, he seems to be getting a lot better at being a new voice in the drumless space.
I'm glad it's here. I wouldn't put it this high, but I'm glad it's here.
Yeah. Yo, Billy Woods top 5. Gollywog. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Billy Woods' horrorcore album. 100%. This is one of the best albums of the year for sure. I think this is probably one of Billy's most accessible projects. So it being here, like, you know, hope this nets old Billy boy a couple extra streams. So, you know, if you haven't checked this out, or even if you have been like, I haven't fully gotten Billy Woods yet, this is a really good album to test if that still holds water. This is a good
entry point.
Jim Legacy, Black British music. I love the album cover. This is the vibe is so like 70s punk band shit. I like that a lot. I don't know anything about this album. It's a UK-based rapper. Like Nas's Illmatic, Black British music paints a portrait of a young artist as informed by their heart as their surroundings. While Legacy feels like there's always going to be mud, as he says on Context, his latest mixtape is remarkably hopeful. You know what? I will add this to my library and check this out. This sounds interesting.
I like this endorsement. I want to listen to this.
I need to listen to more UK hip hop in general, just because I'm like Little Sims and like Stormzy, like I'm really into their kind of stuff, and I you know, there's some good stuff over the pond. Live, Laugh, Love at number 3.
Let's go.
That's a real for top 3. I really like this pick. Like this pick. Okay. Yeah. This is like in terms of drumless hip hop, in terms of Earl kind of really coming back and recapturing his momentum as an artist. It's This is a real victory lap for the dude. He seems like he's in a good place. Good album.
I skipped it. I don't care.
I
don't care about Cardi.
Aside from the fact that I don't get along with Playboy Cardi. Like, Playboy Cardi fans thought this album was disappointing. This was one of those like, this was the Don't Be Dumb of last year. The one that's like, it's gonna drop, Cardi's gonna drop, like all that kind of stuff. And then it dropped and I heard crickets about this thing, and like, you know, I've not heard that this does much different, you know, like, you know, for everything you can say about Whole Lotta Red, I feel like that does take his sound somewhere from Die Lit. Like, that's a different place he's in. I don't feel, I did not get the impression that I Am Music was even the leap forward that was, if you want to call it that. This at number 2 just feels like, oh, you know, all the young kids will click and be like, Cardi got number 2. Like this.
Oh,
this
so
feels...
number one is Clips, right? It has to be.
Oh, if it's not Clip, who
else?
Here's an exercise. Who could it be if it's not Clip? Okay, it's not.
I would start jumping up and down and tearing my room apart if it was McKinley, but I know it's not going to be.
Yeah, it can't be McKinley. He's not quite there yet. It won't be De La, just because De La would make an album or would make a placement like this, but they wouldn't make number 1. I really doubt that they would be able to put that out there. Hell, they probably published this list before that album even dropped. So I doubt that. But is there any other hip-hop album that even... Yeah, I don't, like... You know, I will say one inclusion on here that I'm a little disappointed isn't here. Danny Brown. Danny Brown probably should have been on here. It's mainly just because of how big EDM was last year. I feel like it represents a real moment for hip-hop, and even an opportunity for hip-hop to grow a little bit in a way that, like I would really like it if they substituted Cardi here with Stardust, just because it feels like that's an album that actually feels a lot more successful at doing the whole dance music hyperpop collision of colliding aesthetics. But let's find Clips. It's Clips.
I was saying, I'm so annoyed. Why is the album cover? Why does it say I am music, but the album is whatever, man. You can tell I have nothing to say if this is what I get upset
about.
No,
I didn't really notice that until now, and now it really, like, this will make sense to who it makes sense to, but, like, I feel like because I've been reading House of Leaves, this bothers me more. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why isn't there another 2 words there? Why are you lying to me, Mark?
What are you hiding from me?
But yeah, Clips Let God Sort Him Out. Expected pick. I can.
You gotta hand it to him.
I can fault them for being boring, but I'm not gonna fault them for being incorrect, because this is a great album and it does deserve its laurels.
Yeah, you're like I would never fault a single publication for making this decision and putting that album way up at the top. I'm
so glad this YouTube channel is small so that nobody can get mad at us for putting Sabrina over this in our head-to-head video.
Well, we did this little esoteric thing, and so it's not like that, but
people on the internet be mad over nothing these days, so fucking...
Pick Sabrina Carpenter over Clips? Yeah, I did it for a reason.
I need to insert... I'll find that clip of the Versus Wolves Best Collection of John being like...
Do you really... Okay. Do you think... Let's all just play... Let's have an exercise here, okay? I want everyone to close their eyes. You listening to this podcast, close your eyes. Doesn't matter if you're driving. Doesn't matter if you're, like, handling heavy equipment or whatever. This is important. And I want you to think about the kind of person who professionally gets mad in YouTube comments. And now think about the kind of person who gets mad about lists in YouTube comments. Just envision that person. Do you want to be that? Yeah. Do you want to be that?
We're shooting this shit, right? As 2 people who are currently right now reacting to a list and getting only a teensy bit upset about it. You know we're having fun here, guys.
Honest to God, for Rolling...
It's not a bad list.
This is an okay list. I think this is probably in the upper tier of lists I've even seen from Rolling Stone, considering every time they drop like one of those top 500 lists, it's a fucking shit show. It's a
nightmare.
Disaster.
It's a nightmare disaster.
So I mean, that's they're doing awful shit.
There's only a couple things that I've listened to that I would even be like, yeah, get it off the list.
And like, even the objectionable placements, I understand.
I kind of respect the brazenness of a Playboy Cardi silver medal, you know?
I mean, it's a ballsy pick, if nothing else. Like, if I can call this list many things, I wouldn't really necessarily... Like, it has a safe number 1, but it's not quite a safe list. So, you know what? I give this a B-. Relative, but, you know, grade it. B-. Just apply yourself a little more, and then maybe you can get an A, Rolling Stone. Who knows? But
maybe this wasn't the us yelling and getting upset at the list that you wanted it to be, but I'm glad
If you do want that, though, you should send us the list or tell us what to react to, and then we'll do it.
I'm glad we did this just to have a like post-mortem on our end of year listing that we did.
So that was that, and this was the first round of Jams and Tea content for the year. So if you've got any recommendations, if you've got any suggestions, if you've got anything, let us know in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going, get the ball rolling.
Let's have a good 2026 here in the Jams and Tea
have
household.
a good 2026, man. I'm trying to carry forward positivity. That's what I'm trying to do this year, and like I'm trying not to let shit get me down, and the world is trying very hard to make me not do that, but I am trying to resolutely spit in the world's eye, because what the fuck has the world ever done for me? Until next time, folks, rock over London, rock on Chicago, Taco Bell, live Mas.